Shabbat Shalom, everyone. That was amazing. So much enthusiasm for a Friday night at the end of a long week. That was fantastic. I'd like to begin actually by inviting up Amy Wilson to read the announcements for us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Amy Wolfson, and on behalf of the Bethel Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you all to our Shabbat worship service. If you're new to the congregation, please introduce yourself to either me or Rabbi Dime or our cantorial soloist, Lori Simmons, so we can greet you properly. Also, please turn off your cell phones, turn the ringers off. We do have some special events coming up in addition to our weekly programs. Tomorrow, we have Kiddush Luncheon after services, and then Torah study follows at noon. January 13th, Henry Edwards will be called to Torah, so please join us for his bar mitzvah. And on Sunday, January 21st, Sisterhood is hosting their annual Tu B'Shvat Seder for the congregation, and details can be found in our email blast and our newsletter. And then save the date for February 4th for our annual fundraiser. It's a surprise, so I'm not going to tell you anything else. Just 24th, excuse me. February 24th, yes. And then just some housekeeping requests when we're finished. If you could put your pamphlets back in the basket and your mishkan in the racks in front. Thank you so much. And I'll see you after services. Good Shabbos, everyone.
And now we continue with a reading on page 126. Please join with me. 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude. Oh, feel free to turn to 126 and join with me. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. And now we turn to page 128, 128 for Hine Ma Tov.
Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
How good and how pleasant it is to dwell with our siblings on this Shabbat. And now we turn to page 120, for the lighting of the candles and the Kiddush. And I'd like to call up Sharon Ruiz, Jackie Gorelick, and Celia Spiritus, who are lighting and blessing in honor of their father, Benjamin Julius Gorelick.
Thank you. Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho Bahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim givanu v'charta Votanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat Amen.
And now I invite you to turn to page 138, 138 for Lechadodi. And we'll do Lechadodi verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And so we'll come back to the chorus each time in between. And then at the ninth verse, I invite you to rise when we get there in body or spirit and welcome the Shabbat bride. This is all about the beginning, welcoming Shabbat and welcoming the Shabbat bride to join all of us, the spirit of Shabbat. So, Lechadodi, page 138, 138.
La 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 lechadodi ligrat likrakala pene pene Shabbat nekabala lechadodi ligrat likrakala pene Shabbat nekabala Shemor v'zachor b'dibor echad ish mi'anu elham yuachad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem multiferet v'liti la 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 L'chadodi likrat likrakala B'nei penei Shabbat nekabala L'chadodi likrat likrakala B'nei Shabbat nekabala Rak Shabbat lechu v'nilcha Ki hi mekor ha-baracha Mirosh mikadem nesucha Sof maseh b'machshavati la 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 L'chadodi ligrat likrakala B'nei penei Shabbat nekabala L'chadodi ligrat likrakala B'nei Shabbat nekabala Hitori, hitori, kiva ore kumi ori, 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 shir da beri, kavod Adonai alai, hikning alai, lalai, 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 lechadodi, likrat likrakala, b'nei penei Shabbat nekabala, lechadodi, likrat likrakala, b'nei Shabbat nekabala. Ovi v'shalom aterpala, gam v'simcha uv'sohala, toch emunei am segula, boi kala. dodi likrat likrakala b'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabala lecha dodi likrat likrakala b'nei Shabbat nekabala.
And now we turn to page 146, 146. I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu. And we'll join together in the Yailalais, and then I will do the call to worship and come back together for the response. Page 146.
Lai 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 lai
Lai lai lai. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 148, 148 for Ma'ariv Aravim.
Yadadai, dai 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 dai. Yadadai, dai 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 dai. Yadai dai dai dai. Yadadai dai yadadai. Dai 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 dai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim.
Please join with me in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch
atah Adonai ma'ariv aravim.
Amen. And now we turn to page 150, 150. Please join me in the English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Shema on page 152, 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam
You may be seated. Ve'ahavta, page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובחומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. And now we turn to page 159, 159. Please join with me. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And now we return to page 158 for our people's song of redemption, Michamocha.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o seifele, nora tehilot o seifele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokeyayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
And now we turn to page 160, 160 for the Hashkivenu. This is a song imploring God, helping to help us to build a sukkah shlomecha, a sukkah of peace, which I think on every Shabbat, but especially these days, we need God's help to build this sukkah shlomecha, this sukkah of peace, to help us remember that we can breathe freely, that Shabbat is a time of rest, and that we can carry that rest with us into the week beyond. Hashkivenu, page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu And now we turn to Vishamru, page 162, where we are grateful and we remember the covenant we made with God to keep Shabbat, that we are all here keeping Shabbat is a wonderful experience to be here together. Vishamru, page 162.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam.
Now we turn on the microphone, and now we turn to page 164 for the tefillah portion of our service. I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atagi Borlo Lam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav Lehoshia, Mashiv Haruach Umorid HaGashem, Mechokel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim emunato lishene afar, Micha mocha bagivarot, Umidom alach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atala hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Atah kadosh u'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el
You may be seated. Please join with me on page 175, at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Now we turn to page 177. Please join with me at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of the soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. And now we turn to page 178, for Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav,
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam.
Shalom Rav,
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam.
Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav,
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam.
Shalom Rav,
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha,
Tasim
Tasim leolam.
וטוב בעיניך לברך
את עמך ישראל
בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב,
שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם.
שלום רב,
שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
תשים לעולם.
And now we have prayed for peace. Our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing, whether it is healing of mind or of body or of spirit. The congregation is thinking for healing of Jim DeArmond, Rebecca Kaufman, Pearl Levin, Ron Rappaport, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, David Cohen, Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Dennis Montagna, Sherry Chait, Jerry Chait, Larry Michaelov, Antoinette Worrell, Dennis Greiner, Robert Dawkins, Mary Louise Boyer, Stuart Rosenthal, Cheryl Young, Chaim and Yehoshua V'Sardina, Yehudit Bat Naomi V'Raphael, Fran Marcus, Daniel Motz, Howard Silvers, Rose Aglico, Arthur Aglico, Eli Shlomo Ben Lynn Cynthia, Helen Siegel, David Shaknovsky, Helene Ben Bassett, Shoshana Tehila Bat Rochel Yocheved, Carol Kalnitsky, Paige Hedrick, Hattie Kaufman, Bonnie Yales Gibson, Leo Stevenson, Sue Chataway, Vanessa Warner, Ronnie Patterson, and Jerry Patterson. If there's anyone else here that has a name that they would like to share with the community, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of their names together as a community. I invite you to turn to page 371, and to rise in body or spirit.
Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu mikor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say,
Amen.
You may be seated. Now, having prayed for peace and prayed for healing, I invite you to take a few moments for the prayers of your own heart for silent meditation.
Ose
Shalom bimromav,
Huyase shalom
aleinu,
ve'al kol Yisrael.
ve'imru,
Imru, Amen. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol
Yisrael.
Imru, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. All right, the energy is still in the room. This is great. We haven't worn you out with too much praying. This is fantastic. So I hope that you all enjoyed your Hanukkah. I hope it was a wonderful holiday for everybody here and that people were able to enjoy the lights in the darkness. I certainly enjoyed all the Bethel events, and there were other events in the community, and it was a real pleasure to be able to be out in here and outside, in observing Hanukkah and celebrating Hanukkah with people. So it was good. It was good to be there, and I'm glad. Hopefully, we all had some good experiences. Now, Christmas is upon us, and Christmas, otherwise known as the holiday where Jews go to eat Chinese food and go see a movie. However we celebrate it this year, I hope it is good and a good time. And also, we should remember that Jews, while we have been eating Chinese food and seeing movies over the course of many years for Christmas, we've also contributed to the ways that others observe Christmas, in that our people have written a lot of the music that is sung around this time of year. A lot of Christmas songs have been written by us. I'll name 9. White Christmas by Irving Berlin, Let It Snow by Sammy Kahn and Jewel Stein, Santa Baby by Joan Javits and Philip Springer, The Christmas Song by Mel Torme, I'll Be Home for Christmas by Kim Gannon and Walter Kent, Silver Bells by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Johnny Marks, Winter Wonderland by Felix Bernard and Richard B. Smith, and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Hugh Martin and Ralph Blaine. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is my favorite. I know that it's from the movie Meet Me in St. Louis, which full disclosure, I haven't ever seen the whole thing, so I need to do that. That's my homework from this Shabbat. But I know it from ER. When the first time I heard it, to really know it, Rosemary Clooney was walking down the hallway as a patient in the hospital, and it really struck a chord. My favorite line goes, "Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow." It's a high note, so have yourself a merry little Shabbos now. In the outdoor shopping malls, they often change the lyric, "We'll have to muddle through somehow," to "hang a shining star upon the highest bough." But I really think it's more poignant with muddling through. I think it's exactly the point that a lot of times, especially this time of year, when there's so much joy in the air and so much that we try and put lights in the darkness, that things don't always go exactly how we'd like, that we have a lot to muddle through. In this Torah portion, Vayigash, Joseph reveals himself to his brothers. They go and they bring Jacob and the rest of the household down to Egypt, and Jacob and Joseph reunite, and then Joseph introduces his father, Jacob, to Pharaoh. Here's the translation of the scene. Joseph then brought his father Jacob and presented him to Pharaoh, and Jacob greeted Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked Jacob, "How many years of your life? How many are the years of your life?" And Jacob answered Pharaoh, "The years of my sojourn on earth are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life, nor do they come up to the lifespans of my ancestors during their sojourns." Then Jacob bade Pharaoh farewell and left Pharaoh's presence. The Torah is very sparing in details. It doesn't tell us how or the words that Jacob used to greet Pharaoh or those he used to say goodbye. The Torah doesn't tell us how Jacob received Pharaoh's question. What we do read is that Jacob didn't sugarcoat his life in order to tell Pharaoh a happy story. Jacob said his years were few and hard. In the Torah, Jacob doesn't elaborate. The Torah doesn't tell us the rest of the exchange between Pharaoh and Jacob, save that at the end, Jacob does bid Pharaoh farewell. Jacob was honest, and he spoke the truth to Pharaoh. And Jacob did not speak of God or gratitude for all the blessings in his life, not that we know from the record of the conversation in the Torah. We all may have had hard days, and that when we look back on them, we look back and we choose the lenses, we try to choose the lenses on which we look back on the past days. The lenses we choose can help us to view our lives and those things that happened in a softer focus, in a focus through the lens of gratitude. Not every memory can be viewed and softened with that, with gratitude, but there are things that we can look at and see if we look a certain way and see that there are things to be grateful for. During the weekday, we have a lot of requests, a lot of supplications in the Amidah. In your prayer books for the weekday Amidah, the standing prayer, pages 84, 86, 88, and 90 are full of these requests and supplications. But on Shabbat, the Amidah is shorter because we're trying to live into this place of gratitude and contentment with what we have, of not requesting, of not striving for more on Shabbat. I have much to be grateful for in my life. Sometimes there are particular people that I can thank. Sometimes it's God that I can thank. Sometimes I don't know whom to thank. An example of this was yesterday at a lunch at a restaurant. I came back from standing up for a sec to find the following message written on a napkin, which I photocopied here. Someone wrote anonymously, "Happy holidays. Always remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, and that your decisions are the most important thing. In the end, it's your life!" Exclamation point with a little heart as the dot of the exclamation point. Take care of you. I don't know who wrote this. I don't know exactly what they were hoping that I would get from it. But this person in their way wished me well, told me to advocate for myself and to take care of myself. And so, towards that person, I put out gratitude into the universe. I put out gratitude for all the blessings in my life, for the people in my life, and for the things that people have done for me, those whom I don't know whom to thank. And so this Shabbat, whether we're feeling like we're in Meet Me in St. Louis, singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and then we have to muddle through, or if we're more aware of all the blessings that are going on in our lives right now, either way, I wish us that we take the time that we need to look through those lenses, to look back at the past, to look at the present, and see all that we're grateful for, and then to offer thanks. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And now we turn to page 586, for the Aleinu. I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Alinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu koye ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor alinu kecho hamonam, va'anaknu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notesh shamayim v'yoshev haaretz umoshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al ushkinatuzo B'govhei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu afesulato kakatuv b'torato v'yadata hayom v'shevo ta elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim v'shamayim mimal v'al ha'aretz mitachat ein od v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo Echad.
May be seated. We say that we just said that God will be sovereign over all the earth, and on that day, Adonai will be one, God's name will be one. And we're still waiting, and we're still hoping and praying. And one of the things that I'm praying for, that we'll pray for again together in a little bit, is for everyone in Israel, for all those who are injured and in need of healing, for all those whom we have lost. And so, keeping those Israelis whom we have lost in our minds, as well as those whom we have lost in the congregation, those whom we have lost within the last year, Clara Ostfeld, Lionel Gleckenhaus, Lawrence Merrill Saxon, Anna Logston, Rayla Montagna, Roberto Ruiz, Shelley Fishman, Michael Cherep, Zenobia Neustadt, Benjamin Fishman, Leonard Smolin, Marilyn Goodman, Uriel Betzelbel Ben Hinda, Erica Pearl, Anita Perlman, Ellie Reamer, and Sydney Morris, and those whom we have lost at this time in years past. Sydney Backer, Lillian Bain, Carol Bernstein, Reuben Brosh Jr., George Berg, Harold Furman, Rose Geller, Rex Harmon, Roz Hyman, Louis Katz, Andy Solomon, Morris Wheatus, Rabbi Carrie David Yales, Benjamin Julius Gorelik, Melvin Myman, Ted Levinson, and Myrtle Rappaport. If there are others that you are holding in your hearts, I invite you to say their names as my eyes meet yours. We hold all their names together as a community. I invite you to turn to page 598, 598, and to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei de Kudisha Brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. We turn to page 626, 626. Please join us in singing Ein Kelohenu.
Ein Keloheinu,
Ein
Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Chemalkeinu, Mi Chemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Let us turn to page 678, 678.
I mentioned before those in need of healing in Israel and those whom we have lost. Let us rise in body or spirit to sing Israel's national anthem, keeping our minds and our hearts in solidarity with our cousins in Israel.
Kol od balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulvate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot apayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim Liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim.
And now, please remain standing in body or spirit for the priestly benediction on page 603. 603.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken Yehi Ratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yihuneka.
Ken Yehi Ratzon. May God's light shine upon you and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha
Shalom. 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 Ken Yehi Ratzon. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.